Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are in Animal Kingdom and we are going to be riding Kilimanjaro Safari. This is the entire ride, so it's a little long, but we get on the lightning lane here and pass a whole bunch of people to get on the ride, and it is a really enjoyable and informative ride, so please enjoy.
Hello, I'm Walt Disney.
Thanks to some old-fashioned magic we call imagination, right now, we're leaving the world of today behind. So if your imagination is ready, here we go.
If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're alerted whenever new content is uploaded.
See, you got to chug this bit. I would just throw this child back here. And then it will bring it back. Don't stop the fire.
Inside the vehicle at all times. Most importantly, please keep your eyes on your children. Securely store any personal items. And if you are on your next flight, don't forget to turn off the flash.
Oh, thank you.
Right or left whip. Right or left?
Thank you, sir. That's where they gotta go?
Yep.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Kilimanjaro Safari. Before you begin your trip,
Carabuni means welcome aboard, everyone. Watch that first step coming on the truck.
Slide all the way over, make room for your whole party. If the next party will not fit on this truck, we'll get you on the next one, so stay behind those yellow lines. Jumbo Abby. My name is AJ, I'll be your safari guide, animal spotter. Couple safety messages for you folks. While we're stopped and especially in motion, make sure we remain fully seated, keeping our hands, arms, legs, and feet in the truck at all times. If we have any devices for photos or videos, hold on to them nice and tightly and be camera ready at all times. It might get bumpy out there. Lap sitters, hold on to them in your laps nice and tight, not holding them up or outside the truck. You're not Rafiki, and they're not Simba. Now, by a show of hands, are there any first timers? A couple of you. Well, I'm glad I'm not alone. My first time today. Now, this is the Atiri Forest that we just entered. If you need a guide to help out throughout the day, there's an animal spotting guide above your head.
Look out there, look out there.
Now, on our right, there's a creature over there known as an okapi. The okapi is the forest cousin of a giraffe. We know this because of their long, prehensile tongues that they both have. Those tongues are thick enough that a thorn actually wouldn't even puncture the skin. Now you might get another look at their stripes and whatnot on their legs. A lot of people think they're related to zebras because of those stripes, but they're not. It's just a coincidence. Now I see a couple greater kudus.
Yeah, they are.
Which are a
up
type
there.
of antelope
Right
up
there.
the hill on our right.
Check them out. They're huge.
Oh, right up here, Matt.
Yeah. Right straight ahead. See them?
Now greater kudus stand about 55 inches tall at their shoulders
Yeah,
when
they're
fully
huge.
grown. Females don't have antlers, males would. So there must have been a couple females up that way. Now the white streaks on the side of the kudu's bodies reflect the sunlight, which allow them to appear invisible in areas like tall grass when the sun shines through. Now also on our right, there's another type of antelope
Oh, looking
called
back in there. Look in there.
Bongos are the larger of the forest antelopes, and they're actually rarely ever seen, so they have a nickname, the ghosts of the forest, because of that. And believe it or not, so does the okapi, for the same reason. Both of them are nicknamed ghosts of the forest.
These big birds up here, Maddie.
Now it looks like there's a couple saddle-billed storks on our left. They have a yellow mark on the upper part of their bill that gives them their name. It's shaped like a saddle. Now they don't have any vocal cords, so when they communicate, they rattle their bills. Those long legs allow them to wade in the water easily hunting for fish. Now if anybody remembers those books when growing up, just to let you all know, they do not carry babies. Those little children's books. No. Now on the next area we get to check some animals out is a river up ahead. This is called the Safi River. Now if we're looking closely in the water areas, we might find some creatures. Like down below on our right, we can catch a couple hippopotamuses. Not literally catch them, we can see them. Now if you don't see them too well, we may see some more up ahead, so do not worry. They were in a tough spot to see while floating underneath the water. They can actually hold their breath for about 8 minutes before they need to come up for air. Now they are Nile hippopotamuses. The Nile hippopotamuses, which there's a bloat of them over here on our left. A bloat is what you call a group of them. But they're one of the most dangerous creatures in the reserve.
Right there.
They're vegetarian eaters, so it's not have to worry about what they eat, but they are very, very territorial. That's why they're so dangerous. Now those big white birds by those vultures on the island are called pink-back pelicans. There's one in the water floating down by us right now. Now pink-back pelicans will have pink feathers show up on their back during mating season, and that is where their name comes from. Now did you know that vultures have a symbiotic relationship with some creatures out here in the river? Like with the hippos, they'll climb on their backs and scratch their backs by eating the dry skin off. And the hippos like it so much, the fair trade-off is they'll leave them alone, since, you know, they're very territorial. The other creature they sometimes have that kind of relationship with, are up on our left,
Look at
those
all
are
the gators.
Nile crocodiles.
Real ones. Look at
The
them
Nile
all.
crocodiles are the largest crocodilian species in all of Africa. They'll reach sizes of around 16 feet long or so, weighing between 500 to 1,000 pounds when fully grown. They can eat half of their body weight in one meal sitting. And that much food usually lasts them about a week before they would need to search for more. Key word, of course, being need. Now the symbiotic relationship they have with vultures, the vultures will floss their teeth. They'll climb in their mouths and pick their teeth clean of anything that's left over. And the trade-off is the crocodiles won't eat them. Yeah.
Pretty good trade.
Now, to tell them apart, just look by their heads. Crocodiles have pointier noses. Tell them apart from an alligator, by the way. If you have a side-by-side picture of them, you'll notice that alligators will have wider noses than crocodiles. Another fact is that crocodiles have visible teeth on the outside of their mouth. Climates around the world balance with dry and rainy seasons. And one of the trees that you can find in Savannah is over here on our right. That is a baobab tree. Baobab trees stay leafless 9 months out of the year to conserve water. And the trunk can hold about 10,000 gallons of water in it.
Wow.
It has a nickname, the Tree of Life, because of that, because animals that have the means to do so can poke holes in that trunk to drink the water. Now some locals, by where some of them are in the savannas in Africa, when they first saw them leafless, one of the nicknames they gave them was an upside down tree. Because when they're leafless, they look like they're planted upside down. Now one of the most notable creatures we may spot in the savannah today are very hard to miss. They're called giraffes. They stand about 18 to 20 feet tall when they're fully grown. But did you know they can stand 6 feet tall when they're born? They can even stand on their legs in the first hour of their life and use them to run. Now as we're coming down the hill, just look in the distance to our left, and you should see some wandering around over there. Now their legs will become very powerful when they become a full-size grown adult. So dangerous with their kicks that most predators actually avoid adult giraffes. Now I didn't say all of them, so a select few probably didn't get the memo. Now those are wildebeest on our right that you can see at the bottom of the hill as we're coming in. Wildebeest are the most densely populated mammals in the whole world, second to humans.
Look at the giraffe way out there.
They migrate in herds as large as the tens of thousands every year, migrating between 500 to 1,000 miles. And did you know wildebeest are fairly dangerous when they run? They're one of the few creatures in the world to not look where they're going when they're running. Like, they close their eyes and hope for the best. Now, do y'all see the dark marks in the spots of the giraffe to our right over there? Yeah. Those marks indicate those are most side giraffe. I like to call those dirty marks. Now, it looks like there's some Hartman Mountain zebras in the area. You can see one over there shaking its tail to our right. Those thicker stripes on its hind legs indicate it to be Hartman Mountain. Now, zebras will sometimes migrate with wildebeests. When they do, one of the things that they migrate with them for is if a predator is ever spotted, they'll smack the wildebeest in the head and stun them. So the predator can catch the wildebeest and the zebras can flee to safety. Yeah, zebras don't kid around. Now on our left, those dogs laying under the trees over there, those are African wild dogs. If you see under the little tiny tree, you can see some. They're nicknamed painted dogs from the painted spot patterns they have all over their fur, which they can use to tell each other apart even from a great distance. And if you keep looking over there, you might get a better look. Now, there's a couple more zebras we'll see up ahead on our left, but it looks like there's an Ankole cattle over here to our left as well. The Ankole cattle are domesticated. The zebra by the tree is a baby. Now, past those zebras are antelopes called sable antelopes, which are the official emblem of the safari. Now, I mentioned those Ankole cattle are domesticated. Did you see how big their horns were? Those horns reach about 4 feet in length with blood vessels flowing through them to disperse their body heat out, cooling them off like they have air conditioning units on their head. That's a termite mound we're passing on our left. Now, termites make those out of saliva, dirt, and dung. Some more down on our left as well. If you don't know what dung is, that's poo. Those materials do harden to concrete sitting in the sun. During the day, termites will stay in the base of the termite mounds. Only come out at night to eat dead grass and gather materials. They have a sensitivity to sunlight. Now, zebras are found in small groups throughout the year, but during the annual migration season, they'll form a large herd called a dazzle. They migrate about 300 miles themselves. Now, you can spot a couple more giraffes over here to our right. Now, you remember I mentioned they're related to the okapi because of their prehensile tongues that are pretty long? Now, they use those to combine with their height to prune the trees. That's their main job in the ecosystem. But I've also seen them use their tongues to lick their own eyeballs. Probably because they can, you know? I know I would if I could. Just because. Now, giraffes are rarely ever seen laying down on all 4 legs. Makes them vulnerable to predators when they do, since they won't be able to use their legs to kick for defense. So when they're sleeping, they usually sleep standing up or sitting down on 2 legs. It's usually where the base color of their fur would start at, right? Well, it gets darker all over their body, looking kind of like stripes, but it's the base color. The white is the design on top of that, meaning the white are the stripes.
There's another giraffe over there walking.
Now, it looks like there's a tower of giraffes over here to our right. There's one you can see, but if you look past those palm trees over there, there's like 3 or 4 of them surrounding a tree. A tower is what you would call a herd of giraffes. And if you look over there, those 3, the one all the way to the left that's really small, that's an 8-month-old baby calf. And it looks like there's another giraffe where one of them just came from on our left. Now, I mentioned what they do in the ecosystem. Well, antelopes, zebras even help with it too. They mow the grass in the ecosystem. Did you know zebras, their teeth never stop growing? So they eat all the thicker grasses and whatnot, whereas antelopes and gazelles eat all the softer, not so thick grasses. Let's see. Oh, I saw some movement by those rocks over there. I'll just see what elephants over there. But in the meantime, it looks like there's an elephant that would be spotted in the area. If you see up ahead, there's these two big tree structures. If you look between them up that way, you can see the elephant standing over there on our right.
You'll see him.
Now that is an African elephant. They have the largest ears of the species, and that's how we can tell. Now on our left, there's a hilltop with trees on it. There's mandrill monkeys in there. It looks like they're picking bugs out of their fur. Now the one that is facing away, the smaller one, if you see both of them, is a female. The larger one is a male. Females have a dark, almost black color on their face, whereas males have a red and blue color on their face. It gets more vibrant the higher their status are. If they're in charge of the group, their colors will be the most vibrant. But if they lose their status, their colors will fade. Mandrills are the largest monkeys in the whole world. Now that elephant, it will be spotted again on our right. Look away, look away. I was trying to figure out if that was happening. It looked like there was a wink going on. Now, I didn't get a really good look, but because I was looking at the road and also trying to figure that out, you know. But that could have been a male elephant. They were hanging out by themselves, whereas males usually get kicked out of the herd when they reach adulthood to live a solitary life. Now keep looking to our right. You can see them again, and don't worry, it's okay this time. Now, elephants and mandrills face habitat loss due to the mining of a metallic ore known as coltan. There's some ape species out there as well that do it for the same reason. Now, coltan is found in smart devices to keep them small and powerful. So if we recycle them properly, we can reuse the ores in them. So we can rely less on those mines, keeping their habitats protected for much longer. Now, we might see some more elephants in the area. I see some activity. Up on the red clay and our wall on the right, there's some tusk scrapes. But it looks like some pretty big footprints down to our left as well. It looks like there might be, oh yeah, there's a couple more elephants up ahead. It looks like they're close to a baobab tree up that way. Left side of us.
Yeah, I see him. Right over there.
I can see the ear is opened up on one of them. Now they use those big ears like fans to cool their bodies off. The blood vessels in their ears will create air vent pockets while they're flapping to help them cool down a whole 15 degrees. Now, one way they'll protect their skin from the hot sun. They'll use their trunks to throw dirt, sand, hay, and even mud all over their bodies. That's called having a dust bath. Now, as we're approaching, you can see
one over there.
A couple of the elephants in our area on our left. One before and one past the baobab tree over there. Now they have a job in the ecosystem. If you notice, some trees were knocked down in the past. Well, they knock trees down to help pave paths for themselves and other creatures. Sometimes they'll dig holes with their tusks and hooves and whatnot to create new water sources. Lots of animals actually rely on elephants for things like water and whatnot, because a lot of animals can't travel long distances like elephants can.
Look, getting closer to him.
So they may not have many predators, but their greatest threat are humans for poaching their big ivory tusks. Now look to our left, you can see that elephant over at the baobab tree. And just up ahead in a watering hole that has a really unique shaped island, just saying. These are greater flamingos. Greater flamingos are the tallest and lightest shade colored flamingos of the species. Almost getting a white color in their feathers because of how light shaded they are. Now they get that light shade from a diet of tiny brine shrimp that they'll eat. And if you notice some of them with grayish feathers, those are baby chicks that when they hatch out of their eggs, they'll have gray feathers for the first 2 years of their life. Now a group of them, a specific term for a group of flamingos would be a flamboyant. You can find a flamboyant of lesser flamingos in Animal Kingdom over in the front of the park by the oasis and by the home tree. They are smaller and more vibrantly pink. Now, did you know flamingos don't migrate that often? They only migrate if their watering hole gets too dirty for their liking. Otherwise, they'll stay put. Now, it looks like there's a white rhino up ahead. White rhinos weigh about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds when they're fully grown. And then when we start moving in a second, you'll be able to see that they have a flat, wide mouth. which is partly where their name comes from. There's a dialect called Afrikaans that early Dutch settlers developed over in South Africa. You can see them over here on our left.
Yeah, Maddie.
There is a word from that dialect pronounced "white," spelled W-I-T, that was loosely translated when they were named to white. But its correct translation is wide, related to their flat, wide mouth. Now, white rhinos are normally found in herds, even though this guy's hanging out by himself. And a herd of rhinos would actually be known as a crash. And you know they can actually reach speeds from like 30 to 35 miles an hour when running fast? Now y'all should look in the trees to our right. Another white rhino over there. Maybe they're just trying to catch some shade. Now white rhinos will roll around in mud, like in this mud wallow down to our left with all that mud. They'll roll around it to protect their skin from the sun, since they have thick, sensitive skin, using it like a natural source of sunscreen. Oh yeah, there's an ostrich up there, a couple of them actually. They're the largest birds in the world. Well, they don't fly though. They use their big wing. Oh, look to our left, that cheetah back there. They must have heard us talking about the ostriches. Now, cheetahs are the fastest land animals in the world.
There's two of them back there.
They run as fast as 70 miles an hour. And there's another white rhino on our right. Now, cheetahs can reach from 0 to 60 in just 3 seconds.
Right here.
They actually don't retract their claws. They're the only cats in the world to not retract their claws to balance themselves when running. Alright. Who's gonna go first, me or the ostrich? Yeah. So now, meet your new tour guide, Mr. Ostrich.
Oh no, there's a rhino right behind us.
I think that's where the lions are.
Now, did y'all see the other one just run by us?
Yeah, I got a good video of that.
And so they use their wings poked out like that to help balance themselves when changing directions. They don't fly, so they run about 40 miles an hour as fast as they would run. There's another one on our right. They might not know the other two ran off. You know? Now this rock formation on our left is a Kopi rock formation, which lions habitat.
Oh, he's
Now,
lying on the
our
top.
right, there is a Bontebok antelope laying over there.
He's lying.
Also related to wildebeest.
Tiger.
But if you look on the
Lion right
grassy
on the
top of
top.
the rocks over here, by some tall vegetation, that is a male lion. Their mate weighs about 40 pounds. It's a great defense for them, but it makes it hard for them to hunt. Lions are apex predators that tend to sleep 16 to 20 hours a day. Apex means nothing hunts them. They hunt everything. They're opportunistic hunters as well, so they'll hunt when their fancy chooses. They wake up during the day, they'll hunt. They can see just as good as humans in the daytime, but they can see 6 times better at night. And did you know a lion's roar can be heard from up to 5 miles away? Yeah, so if you hear roaring all day, it could be them. Now there are some warthogs in the area. I saw some laying on the other side of those logs that we're passing by.
Oh yeah, right up on the top.
Let's see if we
over
can't
there.
see them again in a moment.
Yeah, they're on the other side right there.
Now, warthogs are related to domesticated pigs. A large difference are their razor-sharp tusks. And they make burrow nests with those, being the largest burrowing species in the world. Now, there's that Bontebok again on our right. They have a chestnut color in their fur that sometimes has a glossy hint of purple, depending on the plants they eat. Now, those eggs on our right are ostrich eggs. The largest eggs in the world. Anybody ever held 2 dozen chicken eggs before? If anybody's ever held 2 dozen chicken eggs, well, that's the weight of 1 ostrich egg. 2 dozen chicken eggs. Their shells are naturally as hard as concrete, so they are very durable. An average sized adult could stand on one, and the shell wouldn't even come close to cracking. Now, remember the glossy hint of purple I mentioned for that Bontebok's fur? Well, that intrigued poachers where they were poached nearly to extinction. It was found in the early 20th century. There was only 20 Bonteboks left in the world. They were protected by their native habitats by local farmers. But unfortunately, Bonteboks are only found on reserves like this nowadays. It looks like we're approaching the warden's post up ahead. The warden lives harmoniously on the reserve with Nigerian dwarf goats, which are domesticated. They're very playful and sociable creatures, spending most of their days eating and sleeping. Looks like one's trying to hijack the Jeep, couple of them, but there's some babies wandering around in here as well. You see these smaller ones? Those are those babies. They're mostly raised for their milk, but they can be raised to be pets. Now they help improve pastures by eating blackberries, weeds, and ivy plants. Oh yeah, you talk to us. And all the other animals on the reserve won't eat. Bad back. So I'll translate. He said, hi, but bye, because I'm tired. I want to take a nap. Because remember, I mentioned they sleep most of their day, right? Now, if y'all want to see some more goats of any kind, I would recommend checking out Rafiki's Planet Watch. There's a petting zoo down there where you can interact with some over in affection section. Now, we are on our way back to the village. So again, my name is AJ, and I hope you had a good time seeing all those animals out there. If you want to continue the experience and see them up close, you can check us out again. If you have time, the experience will be different each time you come. Nearby where you exit off the truck, there's a trail called Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. The name suggests you might see some gorillas, but you might see a lot of other animals as well. Lots of birds down there too. Speaking of birds, in Asia there's an aviary where you can see exotic birds like peacocks. And nearby there in Asia, as well as the Maharaja Jungle Trek, where you have a chance to see creatures like tigers, Komodo dragons, and even water buffaloes, as well as other animals native to Asia. Now, if we have any wilderness explorers aboard today, you've earned a whole badge for taking the ride. So remember, this truck is called Simba 1. And if you're looking for that wilderness explorer guide, I'd recommend looking for them right after getting off this truck, because they're just up the path from the dock that you're going to get off the truck at. They'll be holding an orange bag known as a satchel, very similar to the type of bag that Indiana Jones carries. Big difference is theirs is orange. Now you guys can start checking out your feet, in your seat, and all around you for any personal belongings you brought aboard today. Make sure we don't leave anything on this truck. And remember, again, this is Simba 1. All right, my friends, watch those hands, arms, legs, and feet on the right. Those doors are opening. You stay wild out there. Oh, pro tip, if you're a little hot and need to cool off, check out Tally River Rapids over in Asia. Highly likely to get wet.
Is that fun, Maddie? Yeah. You liked seeing all the animals?
Yeah. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Until next time, keep your ears on.